Welcome to the Voiceover Round Table. I'm Em O'Neill.
And I'm Mike Tobin. Every week, we get together to talk about all things voiceover with a special focus on community.
Bringing you in-depth interviews, roundtable discussions, special performance events, and industry-leading guests.
Let's get started. This is the Voiceover Round Table. You know, we kind of alluded to this a number of weeks ago that it would be great to celebrate Valentine's Day by showing some love and showing some gratitude and sharing stories of gratitude too. I think that it's a great opportunity to, you know, maybe call some attention to someone who made a difference in your world in some way, especially if it's your voiceover world. Obviously, we try and focus on this element of our lives. So that's one of the things that we'll be welcoming tonight, is bringing you up on the stage and having you share maybe a little story. What I was thinking, I would really love, it can not so much a shout out, but really this showing some gratitude for one specific person who made a difference, or who contributed in a positive way to your voiceover journey, wherever you may be in that. And I'll share something a little bit later on. I'm sure Emma has something that share.
There's a possibility, yes.
Possibility. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but
all good.
We could figure something out.
I'm just going to ask Andy. Sorry, Andy James, how's my mic now? He's saying that my mic needed to be up about 50%. I just cranked the volume. So Andy, if you could say in the chat, if you can hear me better, that would be awesome. While Mike continues.
Okay. No, it hasn't changed at all for me. So that's interesting.
Very.
So yeah, let's talk about it. The other thing, Emma and I were connecting earlier about tonight, and it would also be great to share some of your tips and tricks and strategies. Sometimes things are going great, and sometimes things are not going so great, and it's easy to let the demons crawl in and get a hold of you and everything like that. So gratitude plays a big part in having a healthy mindset, regardless of what's going on in your voiceover business and in your life in general. To be able to be thankful, even for little things, to go outside and be a sunny day and go, yeah, this is pretty cool. I like this. Thank you. I'll take more of these, please.
Absolutely. Apparently my volume is low for the audience, which is weird.
I hear you perfectly.
Yeah, but Dee is saying it as well. I'm going to leave and come back. So see you in a second.
Okay. And then there was one. All right. So at this point, while Emma gets things sorted, I'd love to get a few hands raised, and we'll bring a few people up on stage, a few at a time, and start getting some stories of gratitude. It's going to be a very, very mellow, relaxed show. Emma's back.
I'm back, and we'll see what happens.
Does Emma sound okay?
We'll find out.
Always feel like it's louder than everyone. So Aiden, he's just a bigger loudmouth than most. And it actually shouldn't be too much louder tonight because I'm on a slightly different kit. But let me see.
Because Mike likes to change things up on a weekly basis when it comes to tech.
Bring this down a little bit. I mean, I'm looking at my levels and coming in nice and clean.
I'm
right.
Sure we'll be okay.
Is it okay, folks?
Casey says she can hear me just fine. So I'll speak louder.
Let's trot along. Project.
I'm trained in the theater. Theater.
And my gratitude extends to the first person up on the stage after a hand gets raised. Damon, the Damon Lumps. Let's see if we can get Damon up on stage. There we go. What's up, Damon? Oh.
It's going to be one of those glitch nights. Oh, he's in. He's in. Yes.
Begging your pardon.
We
It's
can
all
hear you.
good.
I'm not Clubhouse proficient.
Now you
Oh,
are.
Microphone
good.
working? Well, all right.
Yes.
I'm faking it. I'm
You're
faking it
in. You're
subliminally.
in.
Cool, cool, cool. Um, yeah. Let me see if I share a little bit of voiceover journey, bio, and special thank you to my VO Big Bro. Um, yeah, I was going through a very ugly divorce. She said no. I said, huh? And that, of course, caused a massive life reset. Um, in that massive reset, I looked at all the dreams deferred, sacrifices for children, sacrifices for expediency, and looked at all the options that I passed over. Because if this is going to be a reset, let's consider all options in this regrowth period. And I started to pursue voiceover. There was one guy in my circle who was already making moves. So I approached him trying to learn the basics of the business. Um, and he was kind enough to uh, treat me as a peer, even though I was on the outside looking in. Uh, he gave me the basics I go on, and then with money I know I didn't have, I bet on myself, spent my last couple quarters on a microphone and an interface, and got started. Um, Started getting a little bit of traction, got the training, did the whole beginner gamut, and the contest for VO Atlanta, uh, gifted rookies. If you're a rookie in the biz, go ahead and submit for this, and you'll earn a free ticket. Now, I'm not one to participate in contests because if I don't forge my own path, I don't get chosen. I'll give it a shot. Whatever. I'm not gonna get it. I won, and that was my first trip to VO Atlanta. The person that told me,
Nice.
my VO big bro, he was the first one. Like, man, you better tune in. Man, I don't win contests. Like, what do you, man? Tune in. I think you should watch this. And yeah, through his hint, I got to find out that I got the nod in real time.
Wow.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Name names. Got to name names.
Oh, I will. I
So I
will.
know
I will.
you keeping the suspense. It's all. I love it. I love it.
um, he had some success, and he was kind enough to gift me his AT 2020
Oh, wow.
because I think my first microphone was like a $25 mic. Again, I was rebuilding in a crisis, lightweight, homeless with two boys in tow. So he saw my hustle. Was like, you know what, man? I'm making enough to get my new mic. You have my old mic. It was like a lightsaber had been gifted,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Obi
Here
Wan
you go,
handing it to
young
Luke
Padawan.
Skywalker.
Here
Hey,
you go, young Padawan.
that's exactly what it felt like, and I still have it. I have upgraded, and I am looking for a Padawan to pass mine to, but I still got it.
Nice.
When I have had a question, he's always been there with an answer, and even though he steps ahead of me in the game, uh, he always considers me a peer, which I am eternally grateful for. So, in this public space to share love and thankfulness, I would like to shout out Trey Mosley,
Ah,
my VO
good
big
man.
bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Now Trey Mosley's not in the house, right? Trey
No,
Mosley
He's
no, he's not.
not
But
in the
hey,
house.
that doesn't stop the thankfulness from going like it should.
absolutely.
Absolutely. And maybe someone, some little bird will hear it and share it on whatever. I'm not gonna encourage anything directly, but it's always nice when those messages get back. And if not, it's the others hearing it. And um, I love the vibe, Damon. And there's so much about that we've touched on little things here and there in different shows, and it's like, one of the things that jumped out in your story is sometimes we do what we got to do, right? You do
Hey,
what you got to do,
exactly
and
so.
magically these people appear in our lives, and yeah, not for nothing, and certainly not, like you said, saw your hustle, saw your hustle. So a wonderful, wonderful story. So great to have you with us to share that kind of thing. And it's like everybody's journey is different, but we get little helpers along the way, little angels, and
If
it
somebody
makes
can help with the
It's true.
machete action through the underbrush,
yeah.
it's always appreciated.
Yep.
It, if there's one thing that you so frequently hear about the voiceover community is how supportive and kind and generous the community is in general, and that really rings true. And here's a perfect example of it. So love the story, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity to share and dap up my VO big bro.
Thank
Stepping back now.
There we go.
Right.
Thanks so much, Damon. Cheers.
We have
Trying to,
Susan Robb coming up.
yeah. Hi, Susan.
Which is always funny because every time I see your profile picture, you look like my sister in this picture. So I'm like, oh, what's Sarah doing on? That's really weird. And I'm like,
It's
oh
true.
no,
It does
it's
look a bit like your sister.
Susan. Yeah, it's Susan. It's not Sarah. That would be weird. So we're just waiting for Susan's mic to kick in. I just sent Mike a message.
I'm so sorry.
You're totally fine. I was just saying the one night we didn't do sound check, like the one night, you know?
Oh, I had started talking and I was on mute and
Oh, that's
it was all
okay.
beautiful. But how are you guys doing?
I'm good. Good things
Awesome.
happening. So it's kind of a fun night that we're doing this gratitude thing with stuff that's happening right now. So
It's so,
yeah.
so true. It's so, so true. And I'm just popping in for a few minutes and then going to do Valentine's stuff, which I'm very grateful to be doing that.
Yes.
But I just wanted to share that I'm actually kind of lucky because I have something that really gives perspective. Um, and it all has to do with my reset as well. I think a lot of people have reset over the pandemic. I was fired from my media buying and planning job at the beginning of the pandemic. We had a ton of travel clients, and but at the same time, I was really not liking the job for a good 5 years. I was feeling stuck in it and everything else. So I kind of saw that as my chance to really soul search. I'm, and I came up with voiceover and I did the 6-month program with On the Mic. And it's awesome. And now I just feel like I wake up every day feeling grateful.
Best way to wake up.
Oh my God.
Best
No
way.
more office. No more office. It's so great. Anyways, and there's someone in the crowd tonight that I'm very grateful for as well.
Is there?
Oh,
There is. You know, there was a wonderful voice artist at VO North that I met at VO North, and she actually donated her own money as a prize at VO North. And I won it. And I was so broke at the time. And I still think about her. And Giovanna,
Here she is.
I'm very grateful for you and for your wonderful generosity.
G sounds good because she is good.
She sounds good.
She is
That's
Yeah.
right.
good.
Exactly.
She.
And just a last point. I just got all of my coaching set up for the year with my coach and mentor, and he's just the bomb, and I'm very grateful for that too.
Who's your coach and mentor?
Oh, that is Brian Dobson.
Very cool.
If anyone knows Brian Dobson, there are 3 brothers out in Vancouver who are really fantastic voice artists: Mike and Paul and Brian Dobson.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and I'm just thankful, and I'm thankful to be here too.
You know, it's one of those. It's like there's so many cheesy sayings about when one door closes and all of those things. But it's and you know, change
Yeah.
is generally hard, but it's always for the better.
Yeah, you know what? It is
Always.
so true. How it turned out, I'm just, I'm flabbergasted. I'm in love with my life.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I
it's
love
awesome.
that. Yay!
Even though I'm broke sometimes.
You know, you can still be broken happy. You know.
But you're on your own terms.
Absolutely.
And that has a lot of value, right?
Absolutely. And you know, my father was always a bank manager. So I learned, you know, you have to go and get a good steady job and benefits and you know the security and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that, you know, and but now he's noticing, and I told this story to G too. Now he's noticing that yeah, I might not be making the money that I used to be making, but he's like, I've never seen you so happy in my life. You know, so I think that I'm teaching my 86-year-old dad a little something too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it goes to Susan to what you're saying that sometimes like when people talk about a job with an employer, they talk about the monetary compensation and the
Yep.
benefits package and the this and the that. But
Yeah.
we have to look at it in the same way. And sometimes it's those intangible things that have such value. And you can't put
Absolutely.
a dollar value on that. Like there are days where I drive my kids to school and I come back and I get out of the car and I just sort of look up at the sky and go, I get to do this today. I get to just take
Yeah.
my time getting to my front door and I get to do this. And so yeah, I'm glad that you're happy.
It's
That's
it's pretty awesome. But you
yeah.
know, I'm working on it to be more and more and more awesome as I go.
And it will
There you
be.
go.
And it'll be shitty, and then it'll be awesome, and then it'll be shitty again, and then it'll be awesome, because that's just,
And
that's life.
that's life, right? It's like the stock market.
Exactly. There has to be a correction at some point.
Anyways, thank you guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Susan.
you. Thanks for coming up and sharing. Appreciate it.
No problem.
And G is saying it felt so good to give back, and it was meant to be. I'm glad our paths have crossed, Susan. Love to you all. G is a rock star. We love you. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for contributing in the ways that you do. We
Yeah.
all really appreciate it. So, yeah.
G is for generous.
G is for generous. It's true. It's true. I can see her blushing. Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
So great.
Her black and white picture actually has some color now. I'm seeing
Yep.
some flushing there.
Pink in the cheeks.
How about you, Miss Emma? You wanna share a story, or do you want to talk a little bit about the attitude of gratitude thing?
Um, Personal story or work story?
I mean, work, VO journey. I mean, it ends up being personal too, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
this is
A work journey. Um,
somebody.
so somebody
I
got,
know it's hard to single out like a single person, and but everyone know that if you choose someone that you're highlighting, it's just a special shout out. You're not negating all of the other people who have made a difference in your life and career. We're just trying to, help you focus in on one person.
Mark Neely.
Oh,
Mark Neely is a Los Angeles-based voice actor. He's been around for a really long time.
yeah.
And when I first got into this game, and actually when I first kind of posted on LinkedIn, like, voice actor, like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I had done my first demo and just still, was very, very green.
Yep.
And he reached out to me on LinkedIn and has just, he was like, I've listened to your demo. You've got a great sound. You need to be doing this. And he just kept I didn't know this guy from Job at all. And ironically, Mark and I, so that was what, 2011? 2010, maybe,
Huh?
that he reached out to me on LinkedIn. And I met Mark for the first time last year in New York at the Voice Arts Awards. We had
Yeah.
never met in person. But Mark has always been a shining light in my life, in my career. He's always been my biggest fan. He helped me get signed with my first U.S. agent back in the day. He has just always been my biggest cheerleader when it comes to work. And we have a wonderful connection that, on days where I'm not feeling super hot, things aren't going, in the way that I want them to go. He magically knows and will send me, hey, thinking about you, what's going on?
Hmm.
And he's been a constant light in my career and in my life. And I consider him one of my dearest friends at this point. So Mark Neely, if you're listening, he's not in the room tonight, but he's usually Mark. If you don't know him, he was the original voice of Huggies, and so he was voicing for them for a few years, and he did such a stellar job. And he's just an amazing human. So very, very grateful to Mark.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, if you catch the replay, now you know.
Yeah.
You already knew. Come on, you already knew.
He might have an idea. Yeah.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
How about you?
Um, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of people that help us out along the way, and it's not, and there's no exception for me. But one that really stands out for me, and I love her so much, is Liz Dineshnera.
Oh, she's so great.
Uh,
Ugh.
Again, a wonderful human, and the way I like to tell this story about Liz and I connected initially online because the one thing that we have very much in common is that we post ourselves as bilingual talent. I mean, she's more than bilingual; she speaks multiple languages, but she does market as English and French bilingual. And so when I was starting out, definitely, looking at the landscape of people who kind of do what I want to do and show themselves in the marketplace the way that I wanted to show up. I was able to connect with her, and then meeting her for the first time in person at a voiceover conference years ago, and the expression I use is like a fairy godmother. And it was just, she had her arm around my shoulder and come, I want you to meet this person over here. Come, I want you to meet. And, out of that, that conference and the introductions and the warm welcome, I have many VO colleagues that I consider friends to this day. My first agent was found through that situation. And things have just grown along the way. And Liz is a wonderful, wonderful person, and I can't say enough about her. She's often referred to as the queen of IVR
She
because
totally is.
oh wow, like a boss. The phone system stuff really just kills it in that department.
That's how
And
I met her.
yeah. And what's really funny is that, as kind of an offshoot of that, Liz has done a number of contracts for some of the bigger elevator companies. And so many places here in the city where I live in Ottawa, and the hospitals for sure, and some other clinics and things like that, buildings that I'll get in an elevator and it'll be like, premier étage, first floor, on monte, going up, and then it's Liz's voice there in the elevator. So, she appears every once in a while like that. So it's, yeah. Liz in you see, I'm seeing Catherine, Liz in an elevator, me too, Fairmont Hotel, Montreal. There you go. So, yeah, definitely that's my big shout out of gratitude to Liz Dineshnera, my VO fairy godmother.
Yeah, I met her. It was the same, like I met her online, and now, since then I met her in person, but it was the same idea that I was asking for help with quoting for a telephony thing.
Yeah.
And I was immediately sent, it was like, you must contact Liz. And
Yeah.
she was just so generous with her time
Yeah.
and her information. And there was one like there was, multiple tips given during that phone call, but one of them I was like, why did I not think of that? That is genius. That when
Right.
your clients that don't have like send them an MP3, you're not sending them an actual file, you're calling in to their answering service
Oh,
to
yeah.
record the messages. And it's like, so every time you do that, you screw up, like, and you can't do a pickup. You've got to hang up the phone and call back again. I was like, oh my God. She was like, no, 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 darling. She's like, you go into your booth and you record the script as many times as you need to. Then you play it on your monitors and call their answering service. I was like, oh my God, you're a genius. Like, why did I not think of that at all? She's like, yeah,
I
I
agree.
was
It
taught that
seems
too.
so logical, but you wouldn't, maybe you wouldn't think
Right?
of it right away. Yeah.
Yep. And it was like, she's like, I was taught it too. It was not something that I thought of by myself. She's like, but it's a time saver. It's a time saver. Like, wow. Amazing.
I can hear echoes of Mike Pongratz in the background. Oh, you don't know what you don't know.
Yep. It's true.
That's a thing. Not just Mike saying that, but a lot of people.
Mike is
Aiden
here.
Dawn has joined us on the stage.
Fantastic.
Hello.
Hey, Aiden.
Hello.
How you
Thanks
guys
for being
doing?
with us again. We're well. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes. This is my favorite place to be on Valentine's Day.
Aw, so sweet of you. Thank you. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for all your great support. We really appreciate it. Who
well,
who are
I
you shouting
appreciate
out
you guys.
tonight? Oh, thank you.
I am shouting out Anna Marie Yang. I think she was in this, but it's almost more fun that she's not now attending this evening. But yeah, Anna Marie, I met at VO North, and
Nice.
I don't think I really had like that kind of like one buddy in voiceover yet. I don't think I had met my person. And we just kind of hit it off right at VO North, and we went to the mixer together. And, by the end of it, after we were all kind of like teary eyed because it was the last event and everybody had like won all their prizes and we were all saying goodbye, I was like, can I just give you a hug? I just feel like we're just like kindred spirits, and we don't live in the same place, but we talk often, and I just feel like it's so special to make a friend that's not close, and to make a friend in person that's not close. So we had that time to make that connection. And she's someone who is always there to help everybody else, like she's run workshops and things, and brought casting directors in and just tried to make it so that her community of people who are learning with her along her way also benefit, like she had a workshop with, I think his name's Dakim Lyle.
Yep.
Am I saying that
Yep.
correctly? Yes. And she wasn't even a part of it. She was just like, I'm just going to run this for my friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she helped, bring him so people could read for him. So, yeah, I just am so very fond. I love her. So there's my grateful shout out.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Aw.
It's just this, it gets said time and time again that this community is the bomb. It's amazing. And it really, really is. Like every industry has its party poopers, but on a whole, there are so many angels walking among us
Oh,
in
yeah.
this industry. So many angels.
And I'm seeing that Anna Marie has joined us in the room. Oh, love the love.
It's so
There was a
nice.
lot of love at VO North, man. There was a lot of love.
There was a lot of love, and there was a lot of tears and tissue, and it was
Yeah.
it was really nice to be there. So we'll see what happens in the future. We've brought James up onto the stage.
Hey, James.
He's sorting out that mic. He knows what to do. Remember, don't forget your Steve Snyder move.
There it
If your
is.
mic is not working, please leave the stage and come back in. I know.
Hey, James. So if you're not familiar with the Snyder maneuver, it is
does know
promptly
it.
leave the
Yeah.
room and return promptly, and you
Yep.
will return right to the stage. While we...
Oh, we're
I
doing
haven't
that,
got the...
Casey. If Casey's mic
Hi,
will
Casey.
unmute, unless it's just a clubhouse thing being.
I don't know. Is my
there it
mic
is.
working?
You're
There
working.
you
You're working.
are.
Yay, it works. Wonderful.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, hello. It's nice to be back in here.
It's great to have you.
Thanks. I will make this quick because I'm actually in the middle of a work day and I have a ton of stuff still ahead of me.
That's okay. That's good. That's the kind of stuff you love, right?
Yeah, it's always like that. So
Work is good.
Valentine's Day is no different.
Right.
Exactly.
So I'll do 2 quick shout outs. First one, I want to say just a shout out to somebody that has been, she's been a cheerleader for me my whole career. And I mean, going back almost 20 years. So probably very, very early days. I started out in this industry as a very jaded actress, on camera actress, who had experienced a ton of rejection and just was not making the headway that I thought I should be making as a young, well, it wasn't so young then, but young actress. And somebody suggested I get into voiceover just because I had a nice voice. And
There you go.
Yeah, right? Everybody's heard that at some
That's
point.
usually the way it goes, eh?
Yeah, so much so that I had to write an article because it got to be problematic. But anyway, my point is, back then in the day, getting into this industry, I was filled with trepidation. I didn't know how or where I was going. So somebody introduced me to Debbie Monroe. And
Deb.
And she actually lived in Vancouver at the time. And when I connected with her, I had had a couple of auditions. I had been in studios. I had been in booths, but I didn't really have any sound direction on where to go with it as a career. I didn't know anything about building my own booth. I didn't know anything about being my own boss and taking control of myself as a vocal artist. And Debbie became not only my coach, my mentor, but also my friend. And we are still very good friends to this day. She came to my 40th birthday party a bunch of years ago, made me an amazing cake. And of course, now she lives in Ontario. She's
She does.
out your way, Emma.
Yes, she is.
But
She's like an hour north.
Yeah, she's still just as fabulous and amazing as she's always been, and I love her to pieces. So without Debbie Monroe, I don't think that I would have had anywhere near the career that I've had so far. And I certainly wouldn't be a talent agent myself now. So my second shout out is to all of my wonderful talent, including you, Emma.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
And Steven Snyder. I'm not sure if he's in the room yet or not, but
I don't think he is.
yeah, I have some really amazing talent on my roster. And I just have to say that without these folks giving it their all every day, day in, day out, some don't get auditions as much as some of the others, but every single time I send out work to the people on my roster, I'm always met with such great gratitude. Everybody is so grateful just for the opportunity to audition, even if they haven't booked anything in the last however long it might be for some people, right? So I just want to say thank you to everybody on my roster. Thank you to any future talent who submit to me and I accept. You guys are killing it each and every single day. So keep going and keep doing what you love and don't let anybody tell you no.
Thank you.
Oh,
There you go.
And thank you for being an amazing, amazing talent agent. If anyone has not, I know you're going to be inundated with submissions, but I remember when
Emma
I
has
signed
this thing
with
about
Casey.
blowing up email inboxes, eh?
Sorry.
It's okay. You and Steven, I think, went to the same school of blowing up inboxes.
Right? When I signed with Casey, I was in Quebec City, I believe, on a vacation, and we were, like a mini weekend away, and we were chatting while I was like, buying croissant or something while freezing to death. But you're always so supportive. There's agents that are kind of like booking people, and then there's agents who are actually involved in what's going on, and you are the latter, involved in what's going on, and I really appreciate the way that you run your business. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sincerely, I do.
Thank you. Well, I will keep doing what I do, and I can only get better because people around me are better, and I strive to be like everybody else. So if you're better, it makes me better.
It's very true.
All right. I will leave you
Love it.
because I do
Thanks,
have to get
Casey.
back to other clients. But you guys
Happy
have
Valentine's Day.
and listening. You too. Sharing
Thank
the
you.
love. All right.
Thank
Later.
Take
Bye,
care,
Casey.
Casey.
Bye.
Take two, James. Let's do it. Oh, it's working. Yes.
How's that?
That's
Can you hear me?
working. Yes, we
That
can.
works.
Am I coming through?
Yep.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so you can hear me okay
Yes.
then, right? Oh, lovely. That's so cool. Thank you. I really appreciate this chance. And I really don't want to come across like I'm going for, just lip service, but my thanks is to Emma and Mike. Um, Going back a bit, some of the stories that people have been telling, I really can dive into. I had a little bit of tragedy myself during the lockdowns. I ended up in the hospital and almost died. I was
wow.
there for about 9 days. Yeah, it was. It was a very life altering circumstance.
I bet.
Yeah, I mean, it really, especially during the lockdown, I was completely by myself. No visitors. Of course, you have your people from the hospital there, but there was no visitors. So lots of time to think and put things into perspective. Anyway, the first person that I'm incredibly thankful for is my sensational, like, otherworldly wife. She is, I will have to say, the most amazing human I have ever known. She's strong. She's funny. When I meet people and they say, "Oh, you get to know them after a while, and you kind of get this rapport that people like you." I'll say, "Well, wait till you meet my wife, because if you're like me, like, you're going to forget who I am in about half an hour." So she's really, really cool. She's so awesome. And she nursed me back to health. It was like she was taking care of a baby in an adult body. Like, I had to relearn how to walk.
Wow.
And so first of all, I don't even have words to express my gratitude for the gift that I have with such a sensational person to share my life with. And coming back, I could relate to the story that your one caller had about working in an office. And that's where I've spent the last 18 years, is working a day job at an office, which goes nowhere. I honestly could empty out my soul to contribute to the workplace. And at the end of the year, you get a year-end report that says you meet your expectations and go back to work, keep producing.
Yeah.
And there's no there's no sense of value. So through that work, I had done a lot of office requests for IVR training videos and things like that. And sorry, I'm a little bit nervous talking to you guys.
Don't be, please.
But with that, I had been told over and over again from other people that they're like, "You should really just do this for a living." And I always was very afraid to try, very scared. And ultimately, when I got out of the hospital, I figured, well, I'm not going to be afraid anymore to try anything that benefits me.
Yes.
And it's my time, it's my existence. It's time to embrace it and make it mine. That's how I took it. And it was funny because actually one of your guests in a previous week had said, you don't need to ask permission to do this.
That was
And
Brent.
yes,
Yeah.
it resonated so strong with me because that's how I felt, I'm just doing this. That being said, I haven't had a lot of guidance. I'm there's a lot I'm confident in. I have a lot of the tech background because I went to school for audio engineering.
Cool.
Thank you. My first little bits was reaching out to a gentleman named Neil Glasgow, who does a YouTube channel, and very nicely he responded to me. But I kind of put the bits together as I go, and some I feel I'm doing really, really good. And other parts I feel like I'm just chucking Hail Marys.
Don't we all?
Yeah,
don't we all? Don't worry, you're not alone. You're not alone.
But I embrace those because it's even with the mistakes, even with the Hail Marys, there's an energy that builds up, and there's something about the fact that it's living. I'm living. I'm doing something that makes me feel alive, and I feel I'm valuable.
Yeah, you are.
So one of the things that, coming to you and Mike, or Emma and Mike, is that I was encouraged to join social media and really embrace marketing myself, which I'm not so good at. I don't like bragging about myself. I don't like saying, oh, I've got the, but I have to force myself to do it. And in doing so, I joined LinkedIn and I came across Emma. And Emma just, I don't know what it is about you.
I was going to say, I think Emma came across you. He just sort of turned around and, oh my, well, there's Emma.
Whoa.
Right.
But Emma, just I got to say, you're so cool. Like, you're really groovy because you reached, like, I reached out to you on LinkedIn and you automatically took me in like we were old buddies and invited me to join the clubhouse. And in doing so, was introduced to Mike. And with those Hail Marys that I'm talking about, is that when I do reach out to you in social media with just little messages or likes or compliments and stuff, you're very, very kind to just reach back to me like I'm just like I fit in. And putting together the clubhouse is like the best guidance that I could ask for. Like, I crave this night every week, and with all of my soul, I really thank you for taking those little golden nuggets of time and just helping me out. I'm very, very grateful for both of you.
Thank you.
So thank you.
You are very welcome. I'm always happy to help, and you're always very considerate and conscientious with your messages. They're not, like you just. I'm always, for me, it's one of the things that I believe I'm here to do is provide a platform for people to be seen and heard. And I think it's because, growing up, the bitter middle child syndrome, all of those things, I didn't ever feel like I was seen or heard. And so instead of wallowing in that, I flipped it around and was like, you know what, I'm going to make sure that no one ever feels the way that I did when I was younger. And regardless of age or location or career path or any of those things, if I can help somebody feel seen and really help them feel heard, then I'm making the world a better place one person at a time, one communication at a time, So you're welcome.
I'm all full of tears, James, and I'm not joking. I welled up because this is exactly why Emma and I wanted to do this thing.
Yep.
Again, to hear that it makes a difference for people. And this is the other reason why, yes, we've gone on a rip of having amazing guests, because we know that they can provide value to you and to the community. But this is also the same reason why we make room for these more intimate, more chill, more community-based nights where, it's less of an interview and reads and different things like that, where we can just bring people up and chat and make it the true round table that it is. And, to hear that we're making a difference and that people are appreciating this and getting something out of it, that's, yeah, That's why we're doing it. That's why
Well,
we're doing it.
thank you very
It's
much again. I don't want to take up too much time, but um, uh, suffice to say, like with a workplace that for almost 2 decades has not made me feel valuable,
Yeah.
yeah.
for you two to jump into my life as new people and give me value constantly, I there's no way for me to even put value on that. I
But
thank you. You're very precious.
thank you, James. But you remember, you've always had that value, and you are taking life by the horns. And I want to make sure that you don't feel any regret for the journey that is behind you now, so to speak, that led you to where you are today, because everybody has, that different kind of journey and path that they came from before, and it made you who you are now. And you are making the decisions and moves that you are today because of what happened to you yesterday, and you're the experience that you've gathered. So don't be resentful of it and everything like that. It's amazing. We've had many conversations on here where you hear stories of, you know, sometimes people get to choose what they're doing, and sometimes they get a little push, right? Sometimes that push,
Thrust forward.
like in your case, you took stock after a very serious health episode, and Damon took stock because of a very different family / relationship instance. In my own experience, it was, after a couple of layoffs, I was like, no, I'm done with this. And so we all go through, to go back to what I said earlier, sometimes you do what you have to do. And we can't all always be doing the things we dream of and everything like that. We got to pay the bills sometimes, and so sometimes we do what we got to do, and sometimes we get into that groove, and years go by, and then we're like, but now you're doing what you're doing. So
Yeah. And just like you said, those past moments I don't treat as regret. They're pieces
good.
that built something. So
Yeah.
what I try to do is try to let those experiences come through when I'm doing voiceover work, and it's just taking that little bit of pushing beyond myself to let it come out the way I want it to.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you, James. Oh,
Well, I get a little teary there. That's cool.
you know what it
Pure moment.
makes me think of, like, we've heard many people say that the business side of things, and finding your way when it comes to becoming a whole voice actor, and not just the performance side of things and stuff like that, is just to remind people that wherever you're coming from and ending up in voiceover, if you're brand new or if you have started making your way, whatever, all the stuff you did before, whether it was school or whether it was another job or whatever, you've been gathering things. And sometimes you don't realize it, but taking stock, taking inventory is a really good tool. And we're talking about gratitude tonight, and to be grateful for the things you've gathered. And so sometimes that might be looking back and go, oh, well, I didn't really like that job that I did for X number of years, but through those years, I learned how to X, Y, Z, whether that's I learned how to make sales to customers. I learned how to cold call. I learned how to manage books. I learned how to set targets and meet that. All of those things play into your voiceover career. It's not just about, how you do the read and everything like that. That's great. That's the performance aspect, but that's a fraction of a whole and healthy voiceover career.
Yep.
Am I seeing a ghost, or is Casey James still hand raise, or is that like a lingering hand raise from before? Oh, I blame the tech.
All good.
Oh.
Oh, good. Yeah, life in general, life gives us the tools that are required to be a voice actor, because this is what we're doing. We're, every script that we receive, we have to bring part of ourselves to that. And, whether you're talking about the new version of peanut butter, or it's an e-learning course, or, you're talking about safety in the workplace, it's you still have to find how you personally connect to that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's all of our life experiences help us in our performance and in the business side of things. Like my dad was, my parent, it was so funny because my mom was a dancer. Like she was a dancer on the stage in London, in England. And my father was an architect. Like he was, the responsible one and always very, you must, have plan B kind of thing. Like if plan A is this, then you must have plan B, which is something that before he died, he realized he was wrong in that if you want plan A, you cannot have plan B. You must just have plan A. Otherwise, plan A is not important enough. You don't believe in it enough to make it happen. And he was an artist before he was an architect, but he became an architect because he believed that was the more responsible career. Whereas my mother was a dancer and a hairdresser and anything to, make money and to be engaged in socializing because she's an extrovert. And, and ironically enough, when we moved to Canada as immigrants, she was the one working. He was not, because she was the one that was more versatile, because she was like, I'm going to go cut hair at seniors buildings. So I'm going to buy a used car. I'm going to buy 2, hair dryers that I can perch on the back of a chair that the ladies can sit under. And I'm going to buy a bunch of purple, hair dye, and off you go. And she was the one running the family home because he was the one who was quote unquote responsible and couldn't get hired as an architect in Canada.
Right.
So, but he used to always say, as he learned all of these things through your life, as you do, when you believe in these hard, set, fast rules, was, you know what? Feel the fear and do it anyway. Be scared and do it anyway. So anytime I had an opportunity to do something and was like, oh my God, I can't do that. That's too scary. It's like, cool, then go do it. You're scared? Yeah. Awesome. Go do it.
Yeah. There's a saying that something about that the success is on the other side of fear or something like that, or like your greatest success is just on the other side of fear, or I can't remember. I'm paraphrasing a whole bunch here. One of the things that we try to do on a pretty regular basis here is to give people something actionable. And whether that's with one of our guests giving a really, dropping golden nuggets for the whole hour and a half long, or, just a solid question that makes people think and gets our guests sharing good stuff. What I wanted to put to you, Emma, was, I know that, and people do know this from, so I'm not busting out any secrets here, that from your social media presence, that you're a big proponent and a big practicer of gratitude. And so I wanted to put to you maybe what is a little thing that people can do if they don't already, a little first step in making gratitude a little bigger part of your daily life or something like, I don't know how I'm putting that, but what's something that people can do?
There's so much that you can do. There's so many simple little things that make such a huge difference in your day. The first thing you can do is, as you're waking up, before you even open your eyes, be grateful that you've woken up. Be grateful for the house that you're in. Be grateful for the coziness of your bed. Be grateful, there's that. And so you're literally listing off. You can start with list 3 things as you wake up that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
Or one of the things for me, especially if I'm having a poopy day, is I used to focus on problems, whereas now I focus on solutions. Even if I'm having a crap day, I'll try to focus on solutions, or I'll try to focus on the one good thing. So it's kind of like cognitive behavioral therapy, that you're paying attention to what's happening in your world at the time. And if I'm having a crap day, it's like, but at least it's sunny.
Yeah.
At least the heat's working. And finding even those random, little things that'll get you out of the dumps instead of focusing on what it is that's not going your way. Because it's like when you're pushing against a pull door, the door is never going to open. You know what I mean? You can push as hard as you want on a pull door, that door will never open. Sometimes you have to take a step back and assess.
Yeah, look
and
at the
gather
sign.
yourself.
Read the sign.
Read the sign, and try something different. So
Oh,
finding there's those little bits, like listing off what you're grateful for in the morning.
yeah.
Journaling, I find, is really helpful for that. Listening to podcasts if you have the time to do that. To listen to podcasts that are uplifting, Gabby Bernstein, people like that are really helpful.
Hmm.
And make sure you have people who understand you. Like your partner isn't responsible for every aspect of your life,
Yeah.
though sometimes we believe that they are. And especially as voice actors, because we work in a vacuum, and they come home from work, and we're like, blah, 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 keep it up, keep it up, keep
And
it up,
they
keep
do
it up.
not want to
Like,
talk
oh
to
boy,
us.
find your people, have an accountability group, have your VO buddies that you can contact, and have that type of exchange so that you're not, vomiting all over your person as they walk in the door.
Yeah.
So yeah, things like that. And this was a question on the spot, so trying to come up with stuff. Really.
No, you came up with some good stuff. I like it. I'm thinking back to I think it was what Casey was talking about when we were talking about auditions and opportunities and stuff like that. And that's one of the things that I like to think about a lot in voiceover, especially, is those opportunities. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when you get an audition, that's the work, and getting those opportunities, it's a door that's there in front of you. Will the door open? Maybe, maybe not, but you're getting an opportunity that otherwise might not have been there. And so there's another good spot, I would say, um, to show some gratitude.
Absolutely.
If the opportunity is coming to you by means of an agent, or a direct client or a production house or whatever, I always make it a point of saying thank
Thank
you for
you.
this opportunity.
And what
Audition
gives?
attached. That's it. Thank you. It's you don't get them all. That's just the nature of the biz. But if you're getting opportunities, you're doing something right.
Yeah, it's if the door doesn't open, it's not your door. So
With that analogy you were making, I keep seeing that the visual of that cartoon, and what is it? The school for the, you know what I'm talking about. It's like an old classic cartoon, whether it's Herman or one of those
yeah,
things, and the person is pushing against the pushing against the pull door.
just pushing.
Anyways, folks, we're a far side. There we go. School for the gifted.
Catherine, you are just
Somebody
she's so quick. She's
somebody
like,
knows. Somebody knows. We're going to call it a night at an hour tonight. We usually go long, but it's been a wonderful, wonderful show. We really are so appreciative of you as a community showing up for us and for each other. Remember that this is for each other as well. You're all cheering each other on and supporting each other.
mhm.
Some great friendships have been built through conferences and connections and here and stuff like that. So it's fabulous to see that. We really
Oh my
appreciate
God, it
you
makes my heart sing when I'm seeing all
share.
these
Yeah.
connections. That it's like we met on Clubhouse at the VO Round Table. I'm like, oh my God,
it's
yay!
it's awesome. Yeah, it's really, really awesome. So we thank you all. Emma, what are we doing next week?
Well, we have the one, the only casting director extraordinaire, Mary Lynn Wisner, joining us
Aw,
next week. Mary Lynn Wisner is, again, an incredible human. She's just a
yeah,
lovely, lovely person. She's been casting for a bajillion years. And she is going to come on. It's going to be Q&A. So bring your questions. Take advantage of this time that you can ask a major commercial US-based casting director
yeah.
all of the things. She is happy to answer as many questions as we possibly can fit into the 90 minutes that we have with her.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got Mary Lynn, which is really cool.
Yeah, I love Marilyn. Marilyn helped me with when I was prepping for my first commercial demo, and did some coaching with Marilyn before, and
Mm-hmm.
it was awesome. Wonderful, wonderful person. And like you're saying, like we have to take advantage of these opportunities that we get, especially with people in casting, because we don't always, as voice actors, have, I don't want to say line of sight, but line of ear, I don't, line of talk. Like, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We don't always get to connect directly with them and ask our questions. But, you know, as we saw from the conferences and from having various casting directors on the show, they are our champions. They want us to succeed. And so we really want you to take advantage of that. So think about your questions that you're going to have for Marilyn. And we're going to have a wonderful time next week. And with that, once again, wish everybody happy Valentine's Day. And happy Valentine's Day, Emma.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you too.
Thank you very much. And with that, good night, everyone. We will hear you next week, and we'll head out on a little tune here, something like...
Don't forget, it's 50% off chocolate tomorrow day, which is the more important day. 50% off chocolate.
Here we go. Have a good night, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. We'll hear you next week.